you guys, it's PokeGirl7 here, and today we're talking about the rarest shinies in Pokemon Go. So I made a video like this back in March this year, but it's now December and a bunch of things have changed. We've gotten a bunch of new shinies in the game, and the list has definitely changed since March this year. So we're going to be talking about what the rarest shiny Pokemon are. This list isn't really in any particular order, except for maybe like the top 3. The rest of them kind of fall all in the same category of rareness, at least in my opinion. So like I said, it's not really a specific countdown until we get to like the top 3. But before we get started, I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to be live streaming on Twitch from now on. So go follow me on Twitch if you want to see some Pokemon Shield live streams and maybe some other games in the future. So I'm going to put the link in the description down below. And other than that, I guess we're ready to get started. Okay, so the first Pokemon on the list is going to be Shiny Delibird. So as you guys know, Delibird is only available around Christmas time in Pokemon Go. And last Christmas, 2018, Shiny Delibird was released, but it was only available for a very short amount of time, just throughout the Christmas event. So we've only had Shiny Delibird available in one event. I think it was like a 2-week event, so not that many people actually have the Shiny Delibird. And I do want to say that Christmas is coming up very soon, so we're probably going to see Delibird in Pokemon Go again, and of course it's going to be able to be shiny. So its rarity is going to go down just a little bit, but as of now, since it's only been in one event, it's one of the rarest in the game. Next up is Shiny Spinda. So there's only one way you can get Shiny Spinda in Pokemon Go, and that is from completing a certain field research task. So Spinda does not spawn in the wild at all, so unless you find that research task, you have no chance at getting a Shiny Spinda. And I will say the research task is pretty hard to find. I think the task is make 5 curveball throws in a row, and I never find that task myself. So just finding the task alone is pretty hard, and then it's even more hard to get the Shiny Spinda. So that's why it's on this list. And I guess I would say it's even more rare to get a Shiny Spinda in every single pattern that it's available in, because Spinda has a bunch of different patterns it can have. So I want to find somebody out there that has a Shiny Spinda of every pattern. I feel like that would take so much grinding. I guess it's possible, but not very likely. Next up, we have Shiny Clamperl, Huntail, and Gorbis. So I kind of put them all in the same category because they belong in the same family. So as you guys may know, we did have a Clamperl limited research day last spring, I believe, and Shiny Clamperl was released. But if you didn't get a Shiny Clamperl during that event, you most likely don't have one now, because Clamperl is a super rare spawn in Pokemon Go. You don't really come across them in the wild. You can get them from a glacial lure, so you might be able to get a Shiny Clamperl that way, but not that many people are getting them these days, so I would consider that a pretty rare limited edition shiny. And another thing, like I said, you can use a glacial lure to get a Clamperl, but those cost 200 Pokecoins each, so I'm sure a lot of people don't spend money on the game. So Shiny Clamperl is one you're not going to see a lot of people with if they didn't play on the limited research day. Next up, we have Shiny Regional Pokemon. So of course we have all of the Kanto regionals, and we also have Seviper and Zangoose and Solrock and Lunatone. So the Kanto regionals were actually released as shiny globally for a while. They were released during an event just a couple of months ago. But to get those shinies, you had to hatch 7-kilometer eggs. And I know a lot of people don't hatch eggs, so that made those shinies kind of rare. So the reason these shiny regionals are so rare is that they were really only available globally for a limited amount of time and only in eggs. And if you don't travel to get the ones that aren't spawning in your region, you're most likely never going to get that shiny. So of course, I live in North America, so a shiny Tauros isn't really that rare here because it spawns in the wild and I can get the shiny that way. But all the other regionals that don't spawn here are super hard to get. Also, Seviper and Zangoose were recently released in field research for a limited amount of time globally, so you could actually get the shiny that didn't belong in your region for a very short amount of time. But if you didn't get a shiny Seviper or Zangoose while it was available in your region, you most likely aren't going to get one because it doesn't spawn there anymore. And then we have Solrock and Lunatone, which the only way to get shinies of both of those is to travel, so that alone makes them rare. Next up is Meltan and Melmetal. So these Pokemon are very special because there's only one way to get them. So to get Meltan in Pokemon Go, you have to get a mystery box from Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee, and this mystery box basically works as a 30-minute incense for Meltan. So for that reason alone, Meltan itself is pretty rare because you have to have Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee on your Nintendo Switch, or you have to have a friend that will give you a mystery box. And on top of that, Shiny Meltan isn't normally available in the mystery boxes. We've only had a couple of short events where Shiny Meltan was available, and basically during that event you could open a mystery box every 3 days, and every mystery box spawns around 19 or 20 Meltan. So you only have 19 or 20 shots every 3 days to get the shiny. I think the shiny odds were a little bit boosted, but it was still kind of hard to get just because you had to have the mystery box every 3 days. Like I said, it was kind of hard to get access to that box for some people. And like I said, shiny Meltan was only available in those 2 events. So you can still get a mystery box in Pokemon Go right now, but as of now, shiny Meltan is no longer available, and this Pokemon doesn't spawn anywhere in the wild or anything else, so that's why it's on the list. And next up is Mime Jr. So I didn't put Mime Jr. in the regionals category because it's a little bit different. So Mime Jr. is only available in Europe where Mr. Mime spawns, but it has to be hatched from an egg. So you actually have to travel to Europe and find a Mr. Mime Jr. egg and then see if it's going to be shiny. It's not just as easy as traveling to Europe and finding a Mr. Mime and catching it. That's it. No, you actually have to hatch it, and I find that hatching is a little bit harder for most people. Most people don't hatch eggs that much in Pokemon Go. Wild spawns are a lot easier to shiny check and that sort of thing, so I think Mime Jr. is super rare just because of that. I don't see very many people with this shiny. Even the people that live in Europe don't really have this shiny that much yet because shiny babies are kind of hard to get anyways unless you're hatching constantly. So Mime Jr. is definitely worthy of being on this list. Next up we have Hat Pikachu, and I specifically mean Flower Crown Pikachu, Fragment Hat Pikachu, and Straw Hat Pikachu. But there's actually one that is super rare that only a few people in the world have, and that is Detective Pikachu in its shiny form, of course. So whenever the Detective Pikachu movies were released, we had Detective Pikachu photobombs in Go Snapshot in Pokemon Go, and it couldn't be shiny. But at the very end of that event, after the photobombs were supposed to be gone, they accidentally released Detective Pikachu, and a few people got their hands on it before they took it back out of the game really quickly. So I don't know how many people actually have this Detective Pikachu. I've only seen a few different screenshots, so it has to be one of the rarest Pokemon in the game because of that. Accidental releases like that are definitely worthy of being on this list because sometimes Niantic does goof up and do things like that. So consider yourself super lucky if you have a shiny Detective Hat Pikachu. But also the other Hat Pikachus are really rare too, like Straw Hat Pikachu was only available for a short amount of time. And I think Fragment Hat Pikachu was available for like 2 days, so that's a really rare shiny to have. And also the Flower Crown Pikachu in its shiny form is super rare too. All of these are just so rare because they weren't available very long. But yeah, that Detective Pikachu is definitely a trophy. Next up we have Shiny Hat Pichu. So Shiny Hat Pichu is kind of rare for the same reason as Shiny Hat Pikachu, but you actually have to hatch these from eggs. You can't get them in the wild. So I particularly mean Party Hat Pichu, Santa Hat Pichu, Witch Hat Pichu, what else? I think Ash Hat Pichu. All of those with the hats are really hard to get because they're only available for a short amount of time and they must be hatched from eggs. So like I've said before, I think the shinies that you have to hatch are really rare just because not everyone can be hatching constantly. Incubators do cost money. So I would say that a lot less people have the shiny Pichus with the hat than the shiny Pikachus with the hat. Okay guys, so now it's time to talk about the #1 rarest shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Go. It is Shiny Abra, or Shiny Kadabra, or Alakazam. So, if you guys did not know, Shiny Abra was accidentally released at GoFest Chicago 2019 for only like an hour, maybe 2 hours, a very short amount of time. So, the players at GoFest were able to catch Shiny Abra, and a few people here and there got it, but it was gone. By the time the word actually got out, they had already taken it out of the game. So yes, it was an accidental release. They took it straight back out, and Shiny Abra has not been available in the game since then. So, some people think it might be a community day Pokemon one day or something of that nature, but as of now, December 2019, it is very rare just because it was only available for about an hour, maybe 2, and it was an accident, which is really funny. And this actually happened with Clefairy as well. I just didn't put Clefairy at the top of this list because you can hatch a shiny Cleffa and then evolve it into a shiny Clefairy, but at GoFest 2019 in Chicago, they accidentally released shiny wild Clefairy, so people were getting that, and that was really cool. So I guess I would say if you have a shiny Clefairy that was caught in a Pokeball at GoFest Chicago, that's pretty much as rare as the shiny Abra. I just count the shiny Abra a little bit more because it doesn't have any pre-evolutions that can be hatched or anything like that. So it's definitely worthy of being #1 on the list. Okay, so now that we're done with the list that I made based on my own opinions, I'm gonna read some replies on Twitter from my followers. So I asked, tell me what you think is the rarest shiny in Pokemon Go and why. So let's see what everyone said. Bobby Pokemon Snap says, I'd say the Fragment Collab Pikachu for sure. Yeah, Fragment Hat Pikachu, like I said before, is super rare. It was only available for 2 days. So I actually have that shiny. It was traded to me by my friend Scott, so thank you for that, Scott. I love that I have really rare shiny. But anyways, Bobby also says, or a hatted Pichu of some kind. So yeah, Bobby is definitely up there with me. I put those at the top of the list. The shiny hat Pichus and Pikachus are definitely really rare. CJ Washburn says Abra for sure, so he's definitely on it. CJ made another really good point. He said shiny summer hat and glasses Pichu. That's another exclusive shiny Pichu that you had to hatch. Okay, so this was a super common answer on this post. Trainer Skello said Murkrow 100%. A lot of people say that shiny Murkrow is really hard to get. I don't know why, but some people just can't seem to get one. I've caught 4 in my Pokemon Go career, so they're not rare for me, but a lot of people have a hard time with that one. And then Ralph says Abra for obvious reasons. He's definitely right. Thomas says, honestly, not counting Clefairy or Abra since they were mistakenly released, I'd say the shiny with the lowest odds is a hatted variant of Pichu, since you can only hatch from eggs during specific events. So yeah, he's right. If you don't count the Abra and Clefairy, that's definitely the rarest one. And Fleece King says Plusle. I'm seeing a lot of shiny Abra. Someone said shiny Growlithe. That's actually one that I don't have yet. I've checked like 700 of those since the shiny came out and I don't have it yet. But I would just say that's bad luck and not really because it's more rare or anything like that. And it actually might be a biome thing because some biomes don't have fire type spawns. Darth Umbreon says probably Lapras. They are so hard to find even as a raid boss around here. Lapras is actually a pretty rare shiny if you didn't play Lapras Raid Day or at Sentosa Safari Zone. I would say Lapras is pretty rare and it's currently not a tier 4 raid boss and it's a super rare spawn in Pokemon Go. So honestly, Lapras could almost be on this list. And I also do want to mention on top of the hat Pikachus, the costume Pikachu and the costume starter Pokemon are really rare too. Those actually came out on Halloween this year. So those kind of fall into the same category as all of the hat Pikachus. And the shiny costume starters were only available in raids, so they could be a little bit more rare than the wild shiny hat Pikachu. Okay, so there's a lot of replies to that tweet, but the most common thing of course would be the Abra and maybe Clefairy and then all of the Pikachus and Pichus and then a few of the harder wild spawns to get. I saw a lot of people saying Ghastly as well. Shiny Ghastly is kind of hard to get in my opinion. I don't really see it that much in the wild. I think you have to be out in foggy weather or maybe late at night to get Ghastly spawns. It doesn't really spawn a lot, at least where I live. But anyways, guys, I guess that's all for the rare shinies in Pokemon Go. It was really nice to see what you guys thought was the rarest too. It seems like we all kind of had the same opinion, which is really cool. But anyways, guys, I guess that's all I have for today's video. So before I go, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to my Patreon. Thank you to all of my Patreon members for supporting me this month. And thank you for supporting me this past year on Patreon. So thank you so much for your support. And I also wanted to mention my Twitch channel. Once again, go follow me on Twitch for some Pokemon Shield live streams. I'm so excited and kind of nervous to stream over there. So make sure you go follow me. If you don't have a Twitch account, you better make one so I can see you in my streams. But anyways, guys, I guess that's all I have for today's video. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure you smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel to join my Gengar gang. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!